everybody, here we are, I'm Zura, and today we are going to review the Pz.VII Tier 10 Super Heavy German tank. This is the brand new beast that has come on the battlefield in the latest time and is going to fight together with his brother, the E100, and the mouse. And just before seeing this monster in battle, we are going to check his statistics just to see how it's made it for. Okay, here we are. In this comparison, we have the Pz.VII, the VK7201, the E100, the E100 with the standard boomstick 128mm, and then we have the mouse. Okay, I have chosen all the different type of super heavy German tanks that are at the moment on the World of Tanks. The VK is a special one, is a reward from Clan War situation, so not everybody can get this one, but the other are easily purchasable on the Tech tree. And let's check the firepower. The DPM of the brand new Pz.VII is the worst among all those beasts, and later we are going to see why. We have the VK and the V100 with the 150mm gun that has the same DPM, very good DPM. The penetration was buffed recently, 750 alpha damage, and then the E100 with the small gun, 2300 DPM, and the mouse with the same gun that has a whopping 2555 DPM. So for what concerns the firepower, the Pz.VII is not so good, but look at this value. The alpha damage of the 158 long barrel boomstick coming from the Jack Tiger is amazing, and the penetration of the premium rounds, let's put the standard one, the standard round penetration is pretty good, the best among all. Let's put standard round for everybody, and the premium one is really good too. But what makes the difference is the travel speed of the bullet. Standard bullet are very fast in Pz.VII, and premium ones are way better, way better. So this gun has not the best DPM, but the damage and the bullet speed is so amazing. Let's go and check the gun handling. As we can see, the best gun is owned by the mouse with a super fast aiming time, very nice accuracy, the same of the 158mm gun, and then nice dispersion on moving, tank traverse, and for the mouse absolutely no dispersion turning the turret. But you can see that the Pz.VII is really close to the mouse, because tank traverse dispersion and moving are the same, and the turret is 0.08. that okay, 0.0 for me it's 0. So very good gun handling for the Pz.VII, probably the second best after the mouse, and the worst gun handling is for the 150mm gun, of course. Then let's go and check the mobility. The Pz.VII is the fastest among all, but here we are not talking of fast tanks, because super heavy 120 tons and 190 tons for the mouse, these tanks can't be fast. But the Pz.VII has 25 degrees of tank traverse, and it seems workable and somewhat agile compared to the mouse that probably is glued to the ground with 15 tank traverse and 16 turret traverse. So the fastest among those fat beasts is the Pz.VII. And now the armor. Well, lads, I think that the armor is the main value for a super heavy tank, and here the Pz.VII shine just probably behind the mouse that has a thicker armor, but the armor scheme of the Pz.VII is more complex, and it can be troublesome to go through this 200mm of turret armor, because the turret is pretty well rounded and the value are way better than the mouse and the 100. Now we are going to see in the detail the armor scheme, because it's really important for the view range. Everybody has a very good view range, very good radio range. For the Pz.VII and the mouse, pretty nice fire resistance, so you can go with the premium food on those tanks. And now the suggested equipment: ventilation, vertical stabilizer, and gun rammer, just to maximize the fighting ability of this beast. The view range rises up to 408 meters, but if you have brother in arm and situational awareness, you are going close the cap value, and with recon you are a bit closer, and the premium food you go over. So in a fuel setup, in the top setup, this tank doesn't need coded optics, just because the view range goes over the maximum spotting range. And here we have the armor visual model, okay, and frontally this tank is a real beast. If you remember, 200mm of turret armor is a lie, because we can find 226 here and here, okay, and here we can find a little weak spot, but we are going to go slowly in order. Frontally, this is a real beast. 270mm of lower plate. The lower plate is 230, but somewhat inclination that rise the value up to 270. And the upper plate is pretty damn strong. Probably only the best tank destroyer premium rounds can go through this plate. And the turret armor scheme is pretty damn complex, is very well rounded, so it's way stronger than the mouse. Look, 700, 1000, 1300 in some place. And the weak spot of this beast is the cupola, but it's really small weak spot. I don't suggest to shoot at the cupola, just because this is a tall tank, and probably most of all you're looking at this beast in this way. It's almost impossible to shoot at this tall tank unless you are in this position, but never mind. Okay, frontally, the best way to shoot and damage this monster is to shoot here. Not on the cheeks, but directly on the left and the right of the gun. See, there's a square of empty armor just behind the gun. This blue one, this blue rectangular shape is empty. There's the mantlet, and behind no armor. So if you shoot just close of the gun on the left and on the right, you can go through with 220, 230, but on the left and the right, not on the upper part, just because the mantlet has a better inclination. So frontally, premium round on the lower plate, okay, easiest way, or shoot on the left and on the right of the gun. If the Pz.VII is angled in this way, and this is the best fighting position of this monster, just because look, the lower plate rise up to close to 300mm, the side 350, 300, okay, it's a real monster. But if the Pz.VII try to side scrape or is 55 degrees angulation. The weak spot is this one. There's this triangular shape that is the weakest part, the only weak part of the side armor. So try to shoot here, try to shoot at the side of the gun. Otherwise, if you find the Pz.VII on the side, go reliably in every place, on the rear the same, and so on. So this tank has a pretty damn sick frontal armor. It is really good at side scrape. It can go pull down really well, because if he tries to hide this plate, the other part of the armor is amazing. I think way better than Mouse and E100. I think that this big boy is tougher than the Mouse. But now, oops, I have spoiled the post-game stat just for a second. I'm so sorry. But now let's go and check how this monster perform in battle. And here we have our friend Black Baron that kindly give us this replay for this tank review. And he's fighting on ESC, and this is a special, I don't remember how this type of fighting style is called. In Italian is predominio, probably in English is contest or so on. Okay, we have only one cap at the center of the map, and Black Baron had decided to go through the medium side on the open field. He is working with his very good view range. As you can see, the Pz.VII, the Black Baron, mistake. Okay, the Pz.VII of Black Baron has the view range at the top with 455 spotting view range. He have done just some damage to enemies and some, look at this, continuously spotting bonus coming from a super heavy tank. He is pushing through the railway because he's pretty damn sure that his armor can handle everybody. He's fighting some 9-tier tanks, so it's not a problem. T-54 try to shoot the lower plate of the tank, and look, Black Baron in this situation with a poor 7 degrees gun depression decided to go through the cupola of the Russian T-54. He trying to aim at the cupola again, just because probably this is a tall tank at the low and the gun depression is not enough. But look at this gun, 575 damage, 528 on the second shot. Even with a low roll, it's so scaring. It's so scaring. The T-55 Russian try to shoot its premium round to the Pz.VII, but nothing go through this beast. And now we have a real penetration monster. And strangely, the bullet didn't go through. Now we have the first penetration coming from the amazing gun of the Pz.VII tier 10 tank destroyer, but at the moment I didn't see where the bullet go through the armor. Now Black Baron decided to be more cautious, just because this is one of the few guns that can damage him. The Ferdinand is not a problem, even because he's shooting standard round. The Ferdinand is compelled to shoot premium round at this monster, otherwise is impossible to damage him. A snapshot on LTTB, but it's a miss. And now Baron that have pushed too much and none of the team is going to help him. We have received another shot from OBJ-104. One goes through. Look at this. Okay. The weak spot of the Pz.VII was shooted by the enemy OBJ-104. And now Baron is asking for some help from his teammates and is trying to fall back just a little bit, because looking at the map, he have tried to make some pressure, give some pressure to the enemies, but 600 damage with 128mm. This gun is almost unbelievable. But the other guys in the team are scared by the situation, so Black Baron is fighting without so much help, or the help needed to break through the resistance of the guys on the railway. The situation is pretty damn going to a disaster, just because the other side 640 damage, a pretty good roll. Baron used the weight of the tank to destroy the enemy. Just remember that this tank is pretty damn good at ramming. With 120 tons of weight, is necessary to take away some enemies just because enemies are coming from the other side, and Black Baron is going in a damn crossfire. Jet Tiger arriving 485, and the Jet Tiger didn't go through. The armor of this monster is absolutely fantastic, and the gun too. Now Baron feels pretty safe to attack Jet Tiger, but E100 comes from the side, and look at this, the E100 didn't go through, shooting the side of the Pz.VII. Oh, very bad situation. This is a fat tank. Black Baron was stuck into the... Oh, now I assume 152 goes through, but Baron succeeded in absorbing the 150mm of the E100. Now we try to change position because this crossfire is too difficult to handle, and now he put a very nice shot on the frontal armor of the E100, stacking him on place, but it repairs his track and began to move. Other enemies coming from the other direction. We have the Russian tank destroyer that is really dangerous, that is looking at the Pz.VII, side scraping. Yeah, this armor is unbelievable. But E50 try to attack on the side, and now the situation is very difficult. The E50 is using the 88mm fast firing gun. He got the ammo rack of the Pz.VII, but the unbelievable armor block another shot coming from the ISU. And here we are, the Pz.VII, driven by our friend Black Baron, make a terrible resist. He has holded the line against many enemies coming from all the direction, and we can go and check the post-game stat. Yeah, of course, is mastery, 2000 lower achievements. Steel wall, okay, this is not a surprise. High caliber, yeah, this is not a surprise. Let's go check the detail. Close to 8,000 damage, and the detailed report show us 2,600 spotting damage, close to 8,000 damage, and close to 6,000 block damage. He was compelled to use some premium rounds. He's going to use premium food. Okay, playing tier tanks probably is expensive. This is an amazing round, And I think that this situation gives us the correct idea among the Pz.VII. The armor is unbelievable. Just use your front, just side scrape or 55 degrees angulation. The armor of this monster is reliable. Is damn reliable. The gun is amazing. The only problem is the low DPM, but with premium food you are going to correct this weak point. Okay, the view range is fantastic, the armor is fantastic, the gun is fantastic. Okay, it's not the fastest tank in the game, but what do you want? 120 ton, you can go for RAM, you can receive beating, and this tank is good or not? Yes, of course, this tank is good. Probably is my favorite tier 10 heavy tank, and I suggest to go for this monster. Everybody, go with this one, and you don't regret it. Okay, for this review is all. We have finished. I'm going to greet you, everyone. You've been epic. I hope you will come soon to check other review in my channel. Don't forget to leave a like because it helps the channel out. And for today is all. Greetings by Yozura. Bye, guys.